is what flows in this fam's DNA. Dope is what flows in this fam's DNA.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to Dope Interviews, brought to you by the Mighty 19 Media Group. I'm your host, Warren Shaw. And in the virtual building today, I have someone who I can call a friend. She may not call me a friend, because she's out there doing big things. But I remember when I first met her way back. I think it was the 2012 All-Star Game. In the virtual building, I have the great actress, singer, dancer, voiceover actress, / She does pretty much damn everything. Porscha Coleman. Porscha, what's good, family? It's so good to see you.
Thank you. You too. And I love how you hit me with all the slashes because you know me. So it's that's very true. I have the voiceovers, the commercials, the TV shows, the music career. So thank you for the intro. I appreciate you. And yes, it's been a great time just knowing you and interacting how we do from sports to entertainment. It's intersected well. So thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. So we'll jump right in. And then for me on Dope Interviews, we always kind of start from the genesis. But again, as we talk about those slashes, if you will, right? How did you know? Because you're LA born and raised? You're LA California born and raised?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So how did you know that you wanted to get into the entertainment business?
The funny thing about it is that my aunt and my uncle did background work. So they were already in the spaces of the TV shows and the films. So I grew up in Hollywood, in a sense, I say, because my mom and all my aunts and uncles were in a band, and they traveled around the world and did a lot of things. So for me, it was always like, if I wasn't at their music rehearsals or if I wasn't watching my aunt and uncle be on a set, it's kind of like, it's what I did. And then even when I was 4 years old, I literally remember doing a play at my school, and I was the lead in the play. So I think I always just had, quote unquote, the it factor, where I wasn't shy. I didn't care who you were. I would either sing for you, I would dance for you, I would say, hey, take a look at this. I just wasn't shy. And my mom noticed that, my brother noticed that. And I think it just kind of took off from there. And the first acting job that I got, I started as a background actor, like a lot of people do. But I love telling this secret because it's funny. My first job was Friday at the ice cream truck next to Megan Good.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So that was my first job at 7, running down the street, chasing after the ice cream truck and getting hit upside the head by Chris Tucker and Friday. That was my moment. I said, oh, I have to do this. This is fun.
That's tight.
So that's kind of like my first acting job. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did not know that about you. I mean, thank you honestly for sharing that. And one of the things I'm always interested, I like kind of like getting behind, you said started doing this basically at 4 years old. So family is your first instance and first, introduction into this space or whatever. But as you grow, you see other people doing it, so to speak. So can you tell me who is your favorite, or who were your favorite influences as musicians growing up, and then maybe as actors or actresses?
Oh, absolutely. So musicians, and I was 5 when this happened. This is all on video. So I can't even cap on this because this is all on video. 5 years old, I did my very first performance. It was a talent show at the YMCA. And I had 2 backup dancers because I was like, I need dancers because I just
let's go
the shiz. And I did Janet Jackson, I Miss You Much. And a flashlight was my microphone. The flashlight was damn near bigger than me. Mind you, I was like yay tall, and this flashlight, and I had them do the Running Man the entire time as the choreography. And I was lip syncing Janet Jackson for like 3 minutes of I Miss You Much. So I think for me, again, my influences for sure were always like Janet Jackson. I loved Michael. I loved Whitney. I loved Anita Baker growing up, just listening to artists that really captivated me vocally. Like when you hear Michael Jackson, it's Mike. When you hear Janet, you knew it was Janet. And then especially the Whitneys and the Anitas, I just loved voices that really stood out. But then I loved performers. So for me, watching Janet Jackson on stage and to try to recreate that at the YMCA at 5, I was like, I kind of got a little something. You know what I'm saying? And I think from there, everything just kind of escalated by going to an acting class. And then the first acting class, I did a fake commercial and I got an agency right away. And then I booked 3 commercials like within 6 months. So it's like, it wasn't really a long process to get started. But when I look back and think, I'm like, wow, I've been doing it a long time, and only because I started so young. So I'm nothing like what they say, the overnight success. There was nothing overnight about my success. It wasn't overnight. It was many nights, long nights, hard work, and you name it, but it never feels like work because I actually enjoy it.
Well, that's actually going to lead to something I'm going to ask you a little bit about a little bit later on, when it comes to, does it still feel like work, right? But I think for now, the process of when you're getting into a character, when you book a gig, if you will. Like, so take us through that. And obviously each character is going to be different depending on who you're playing. And even, you know, I'll get into this maybe a little bit later too. Like there's politics that I think that are involved in certain stations and, you know, whoever the producer is, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
How do you balance that, you know, and say, all right, I still need to be Porscha, but Porscha needs to embody this character for whatever, you know, the network or the producers may need.
You know, 1,000%. I think gosh, that's such a loaded question in a great way, because as an actor, you're supposed to step outside of yourself. So I think for me, there's certain characters that I can relate to more than others, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. I grew up dancing. So for me to do, let's say, a role on Silicon Valley where I'm playing this exotic dancer that's coming in to entertain these guys. No, I've never been a stripper in real life, but I'm a professional dancer and I've choreographed for a lot of major artists, been in music videos. So it comes second nature to me where I have to dance and I have to sing at the same time, like I did on the Parkers. You know, I came in and I did my audition where I was singing an a cappella song and then had to go into a scene and deliver it in a comedic way. And there's a lot of actresses that went out for the role that couldn't get it because, let's say, they couldn't sing. So I think for sure with me, I've always had different niches because I was able to tap into different talents that Porscha already has. But let's say the role required that too. So I definitely think in a way, politics worked in my favor. But then, of course, it's Hollywood. There's times you don't get it because of exactly what we're talking about, like nepotism. I can tell you one role now. I don't even know how close I got. I knew I got somewhat close because they really liked me. But perfect example is Coming to America Part 2. I auditioned to be the daughter in the movie of one of the main characters. And then the daughter that got it was Eddie Murphy's daughter in real life. So in my head, I'm like, I can't beat out somebody who is already the daughter of the person starring in the movie and producing it. So certain parts I just look at, like, it's not a matter of your talent not being good enough. It's nepotism. Or it's at the end of the day, it's just you are meant to get a different role and don't get jealous that somebody else got it. So I was never upset about it. But when you hear who gets something that you didn't, you're like, okay, the director's cousins, uncles, third cousins, nephews, brother-in-law, of course. You know what I'm saying? So I think it helped in my favor. No different than like Jamie Foxx. I've known Jamie so long. We did a radio show together years and years ago, all the way, I think back in like maybe 2012 or maybe even before then, what I did with my friend Claudia Jordan and friends. Like, so I was always around him in passing. And then I get an audition for a movie and I walk in the door, he's not there, but the casting director loves me. And I didn't even tell him I knew Fox. For the callback, Fox was there and he was like, wait, what are you doing here? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I didn't even know you acted, because I wasn't going to impose what I do on somebody that I didn't see all the time. But sure enough, after that audition, Jamie was blown away. And after that role, I ended up getting Dad Stop Embarrassing Me. Even though I had to audition, there were other people that were up for it. I knew Jamie wanted me, but I had to go in there and still kill it. So it worked.
You don't take it for granted.
Yeah, it works in your favor having history with people, but you still got to do your job. So it's different now all the way around, especially with social media, how we audition, and now roles are done right in your house. I had 3 self-tapes I had to do last week. And right before I spoke to you, I was talking to the producers and showrunners of the next job that I'm doing, which will be on Starz. And I booked it doing a self-tape. So the climate has definitely changed in a cool way, but at the same time, it requires more work for the actor. So you got to be multifaceted to where you can deliver what they need in a timely manner, direct the tape, edit the video, get a reader. It's a lot, but it is what it is. That's how the times kind of turn from when I started to where it is now.
Well, one of the things you just mentioned on, right? Like, because again, being multifaceted is so important. And then I've always found like geniuses, if you will, like people who have so many talents, how do they focus and hone in on one or even 2 things? But you do so many of those things. Can you truly enjoy and appreciate all of them, even at this stage of your career? Or is there stuff that you lean a little bit more towards now, maybe like when it comes to maybe it is the acting?
Of course. You know what? I think it kind of shifts, I think, depending on where you're at in your own life. So I know at one point, I've always loved acting since I was young. I could turn it on, turn into a character, whether it was comedy, drama. I always enjoyed it. But since I was able to speak in car seats, I've been singing. So for me, it's like I always want to have this star power and this music ability to deliver a song like I deliver a scene. Because I feel like in a lot of ways, you can't teach Usher how to be Usher. You can't teach Chris Brown how to be Chris Brown. You can't teach Alicia Keys and some of these major artists to be who they are. That's who they are born to be. So I think music is the embodiment of who Porscha is. The actress side of me is who I get to play to have fun with. So to me, music is always going to be the first passion and love because that's who I am directly. But then I sit and think, wait a minute, I love doing voiceovers because when I go into my little voiceover booth, I'm animating as a character. I could be a 10-year-old boy. I could be a commercial actor where I'm doing a bubble mint commercial. I get to still turn into different people. So I think you get to step outside of yourself and have fun doing that. And it takes you away from reality, even if for a moment, compared to someone, let's say, who has to go to work every day, let's say at a 9 to 5, they have to always be who they are in a sense, or they have to put on a front in a way. Not everybody likes what they do all the time, but I think I'm just fortunate to really enjoy doing voiceovers, to enjoy doing acting, to record songs and enjoy where I'm at. I think it makes it more fun because I can be somebody else the very next day. And no, it's not me, it's who I'm playing, but I still get to tap into different elements of who I am.
Porscha, that's another layer.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're ready to go there just yet, but I'll say this, really quickly. I think for those in the 9 to 5, and especially being Black, I think a topic came up somewhere that I was in a space I was in, and the topic of like code switching, came up, all very, very heavily.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I think that's interesting in the 9 to 5 space, but we talked a little bit about the politics earlier. And so is there a form of code switching, I think, in when you're auditioning or when you're trying to, I guess, impress, so to speak, like how do you present your truly authentic self
Absolutely.
or having to put on or cap, as they say?
I think in your daily life, you have to put on. Let's be real. I don't care if you're a bagger at Rouse or at Walmart. You may not want to be there because you have your real passion to do something once you leave, but you have to put on the front bosses. You have to do the job because everybody has to eat. Everybody needs to get money. But I think the difference is finding what your passion is to where you are happy to go to work every day. And if you're not happy, then find something that can pay the same thing that you'd be getting paid elsewhere and love it. Because you don't want to wake up 30 years and say, oh my God, I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. I did what I had to do. So I think when I'm doing all the hard work that I've done, all the roles that I've played, the different spaces that have allowed me to be creative, I've worked hard for because I don't want to have to go to a 9 to 5. If I can wake up and know that I can play this role that I can just have fun with and also get paid to do, it's a blessing. So anybody that's listening, I think that's the key, is to find your love and your passion and make that your paycheck, because you'll be happy doing it, rather than being upset when you go to a place that you're just not happy to be at. Find that passion. And it can be many things. Like you said, I have a lot of slashes because I realized I could do many things. Not because I just got bored one day. I just said, I've been doing voices since I was a kid. Why don't I get paid to do voiceovers? And sure enough, now when you pop in video games, like if you listen to Anthem, the video game, as soon as you pop in the game, that's me narrating it. You hear my voice. But when you get midway through the actual game, I'm also a character that looks nothing like me. And it's my voice that you're playing against. You could go left, you can go right, but it's me talking you through it. So I only found those different trades off of me realizing, what else can I bring to the table? Because I think the multifaceted entertainer is the wave of the future. Why? Because there's AI. So if they can do AI and create what I do, I have to bring value in a way to where it's like, we don't need AI. We can still use the talent in this person and not have a computer do it. It's just that simple. Yeah.
Bringing the heat here, as I knew she would. It is the great, talented Porscha Coleman. Make sure you follow her on social media at Porscha Coleman. Porscha, let's take a quick break, y'all, and we'll be right back. Ready to amplify your fantasy sports game? Prize Picks is here to make your basketball season even more exhilarating. Imagine transforming a modest $10 entry into a staggering $1,000 during the most intense time of the playoffs. Whether you're rooting for basketball, hockey, or diving into the realm of esports with League of Legends, Prize Picks caters to all. Blend your picks from different sports, selecting champions like LeBron James, Caitlin Clark, Connor McDavid, and Jude Bellingham in one thrilling entry. I grew up playing baseball, and I'm also enjoying the wave of excitement in the WNBA currently. You can be sure I'll be mixing and matching my picks across leagues. Make your selections and submit your entry in a flash. Less than 60 seconds. With expedited cash outs and an extensive array of players and stats, Prize Picks stands out as the fantasy sports haven. Why wait? Get the Prize Picks app today and use the promo code CLNS to match your first deposit up to $100. Prep your entries and witness your strategic plays turn into wins. It's that simple. Make sure to use the promo code CLNS for your deposit match. Let's conquer the fantasy sports world together. Pick more, pick less, using the code CLNS at Prize Picks. Now stick around for more insightful discussions right here on Dope Interviews. And we're back here on Dope Interviews with the great Porscha Coleman, giving us some great insight into her career and journey, and also some of the insights of Hollywood and entertainment itself. Porscha, before we broke, you spoke a little bit about, the politics that are involved in the industry itself, right? And how now you're auditioning via Zoom. Like you would think that would have made it just been like a COVID thing, but that's obviously transitioned out as, studios in essence are trying to save more time or whatever. Can you get a good feel? Talk to us a little bit about that aspect of, because do you feel like it's losing the authenticity of what you can bring, like by being in person when it comes to auditioning?
Yeah, I think it's a plus and a minus, just because I'm a people person. So I think feeding off the energy of what the casting director is giving you or the producers that are in the room, you can't match that doing it on Zoom or sending in a self-tape, making your own decisions, sending in the tape and not hearing anything later. If you hear something, it's because they liked it and you might go to a callback or you might just directly book it. But it lacks that in-person connection of someone be able to give you a correction in the moment versus them maybe calling you later if they believe it can happen later on. Because in my mind, what if there's one thing that I could have done different that could have booked the job for me? If I'd been in the room, they could have said, hey, try this right now, and it would have happened on the spot. But in another way, I like the control that as an actor, I do have to be able to create what I want to present versus walking in the room, having to see where the lighting is, having to see, okay, here's the camera. I've never read with this person. You have to just walk in kind of blind and just figure it out. And that's what I'm used to doing because that's how it used to be. You walk in the room, give it your best. You got maybe 5 minutes at most and you out the door and it is what it is. With self-tapes, you get to control the narrative. And I love that. Like I'm just in awe of how we can create what we need. And I'm only bringing this role in because I'm about to go shoot it as we speak next week. I have to bring the character to life that is supposed to be doing something intimate with a character, but in a room, I couldn't have created the same narrative like I was able to create in my own house. You know what I'm saying? And it's the comfort level of me feeling like, okay, let me do maybe 5 or 10 takes just to see what I like, what angles look good. You can't do that when you walk in a room. It's just, so you get to control the narrative. And I think me editing how I like it or me submitting more than one tape, I can control the narrative. But this is the wave of the future. I don't think we're ever going to go back into audition rooms because why? Cast directors can sit at home and just press play and watch our tapes that way. Why bring us in the casting rooms anymore? And I'd rather have a 3-day window to do it when I feel like it versus having to go at 5 o'clock on the 405 through traffic.
Ooh, that traffic, yep.
And I'm from
Not a
there.
game.
I'm like, oh God, like you have to save a lot of time, allowing for the audition time that it takes. So now you do get to control it a little bit more. And I do like that. And I've been booking jobs off of self-tape. So I know whatever I'm doing is working, and certain roles you have to commit to more if it asks you to do more. You know what I'm saying? They send a lot of pages. You have 2 days to do 8 pages and you're like, oh my God, like I can't get a longer period. No, you got 48 hours, get it right. And it's like, all right, well, put me to the test. And I like being under pressure. I think I work better under pressure, actually.
Nah, I mean, again, your confidence is brimming. And I think that's so important, I think, for people to understand it. But this industry is a grind, right? And it can wear you down. There's been a lot of disappointments, I'm sure, for you as well.
Yes.
How, from the entertainment side or more the Hollywood side, so to speak, we talked a little bit about how that's shifted. But how do you feel for you? How has the music industry shifted, or is it adjacent? Like, what are maybe the similarities or the differences there too for you as somebody entering in all those spaces?
Oh, 1,000%. Musically, things have changed because of just the money I think artists are able to make off of just a record sales. So let's be real. Right now, people aren't anticipating albums as much as they are the singles or the music videos or even just the touring. So I think artists now have to shift their energy into the digital space of promotion, because before, I used to live getting a CD for my birthday. You have no idea. Under the Christmas tree, I knew it was square. I was like, oh, I got my favorite CD. I used to look at the insert, used to look at all the credits, you see the photos. That is how we grew up, like hearing music. And then in my mom's era, those are the LPs. She still got the big old LPs, from Prince, Isley Brothers. And then you got the album cover with the honey dripped on it. It's like, wow, like stuff has really changed in a different way to see how far music has come and where we're at now. So you have to shift, I think, your artistry for where people are consuming music and entertainment now. And the truth of the matter, people are going to concerts. They like to see stuff in person. They are streaming more. They'll stream your single way more than they'll buy your album. So if you're not going to get the $12.99 or $15, download anymore, you might get the $149 or the 99 cents download, but it takes way more of those downloads to get even half of what you made off of an album sale. So it's just really realizing where things are at and changing with the times if you want to stay relevant and stay in the mix of what's happening. If not, you're going to get left behind. There's no way to say it. And I'm a tech kind of person, so I appreciate technology.
Well, no doubt. Would you lean into that more, more so than the acting side? I mean, because again, we've talked about, again, multi-talented, so to speak. But
yeah, I think it's a collaboration of it. Like even right now, like I'm in the studio and I want to release music around these roles that I have. I have a Christmas film that'll be out in like November, December. I'm just taping a show now. And see, that's probably a call from an agent. But I'm not even gonna take it right now. It should have been on site. And that's even the wardrobe department. That's so funny. From the TV show, because I can wait to take it. But no different than the authenticity that happens. Everything is happening on a 24-hour basis, I think, right now with entertainers and artists. Like I said, before you get brought into rooms, a lot of times they have wardrobe fittings. Now sometimes they're virtual. You try stuff online and you bring it with you if you have it. So things just change so much with technology and how it's moving that you just have to stay relevant and knowing whatever your passion is, rock with that. I love music. I guarantee you're going to see 2 or 3 singles probably this year alone, just because I want to corroborate with the acting roles that I have. To me, there's no more one-sided entertainer where you have to just be an actor. You better not just be an actor, because you're going to get left behind by somebody who can do more things than once. Because look how many roles now that we see are taken up by people that were musicians that are now in the acting space. I can name 3: LL Cool J, Queen Latifah. These are just 2 artists already that even Common for 3. They've had movies because of who they were and their fan base that transitioned into an acting space. So for me, it's like people know a lot of the acting stuff. Some know the music, but I haven't put out a ton of stuff. But now it's like, okay, you know the actress, now get to know me as the singer and the artist side of things. So it all works hand in hand. I don't think there's one that should overshadow, but I'm gonna do everything, because why? You got one life to live, and I don't care how people feel. I want to live my passion and my dream out, because there's always gonna be people hating. They're gonna have a lot to say, but it does not matter, because I never want to leave not knowing that I didn't pursue every passion that I was able to do and do it to the best of my ability.
Speaking of hating, some people feel some type of way, about certain platforms. Like I saw that you were influencing, I guess, for Wish, right? Yes. So is that still a situation for you? And I think it's I don't know. I'm so fascinated by the space itself. I don't know if you saw Cat Williams, new comedy special, and and it's just we're in a very, very different time. And what I really admire about you is that you continue to make a way, but you understand it. You're not doing it just to get a check. You're actually passionate about what you're doing, but you can get checks too, and do it, on the right path. Talk to me a little bit about your foray into influencing, if you will, too, for various platforms.
I think it's interesting because, of course, when social media first came out, I mean, you had Facebook that was, just budging, and then all of a sudden Instagram hit, and then you had Twitter. I mean, even all the way to the days of MySpace, it's like having your top 8 was like, oh my God, who's your top 8? And little light will go off when you were online. That was early influence. That was Soulja Boy. That was so many different people that were influencing then. And I think now all we're seeing is that there are different ways to get money. And I feel like if someone wants to see me on television, they might have liked the outfit I had on, but let me show them where it came from. Let me show them a way to get a discount for it. And I think that's important, because everybody, I think, wants to feel in a way like a celebrity. And they don't realize that anyone can actually live like a celebrity. The favorite celebrities on a red carpet might not be wearing the top-notch designer. They might be wearing some from Fashion Nova, for all you know. Facts. I can't even tell you how many times I went to certain red carpet events and I said, oh, I like this outfit. It might have been on sale at a little boutique. Fancied it up, and next thing you know, it looked like $1 million. You would have never known. And it's like, I think people want to understand now how to consume things for a more cost-effective way. Like, you got to figure out how to be cost-effective, because I hate to say it, the prices and inflation is going up, but the money ain't going up. It's not matching. If people knew, like, even what I paid for rent here in LA, when they're like, you can move to Texas or somewhere in Vegas and get more bang for your buck. I know that. But being in LA is where my checks get cut. Why? Because this is where people are coming to influence. This is where you can come and walk down the street and run into a famous actor or a director when you guys are talking, and next thing you know, you get put in their next project. So it pays to be seen in a way, because I think now people care about your influence. They care about your numbers. They ask a lot of times when you're going into a casting, how many followers do you have? Oh, what kind of campaigns are you running? Crazy. It has nothing to do always with talent. You're like, what? My social media? That's crazy. I should just be right for the role. But not every time does it come down solely just to you being right for the role. You have to be right for their brand. And if I can be right for somebody's brand, I promote for Wish. I promote for so many different, I mean, Temu, you name it. I've been approached by a lot of different companies, but these are actually companies that I actually shop with. Whether I was getting paid or not, I go on to Temu and I'm like, oh, this is nice. Let me get this eyeshadow. Let me get this bookcase. Like, you can get it for a cost-effective price. And I love sharing with people easier ways to save $1 because it's very important. I know people are working hard to just barely make it. So I don't want to seem like I'm untouchable or that. You can't also have the same kind of things if I can show you how to get it for the cheaper price.
This is why we had to have this conversation, because honestly, I mean, you know, I've been so far and I've been naive. I haven't been around the right people in LA. Let's put it that way, because I've been there and I'm just like, it's a little much for me. But I think, you know, for somebody like you who understands, like, hey, you're a human first. Not everybody can be, you know, whatever. Like, you're trying to help people, you know, through the influence that you do have, and understand that this industry is hard. And I can truly appreciate you in this conversation. Hopefully, you know, for those who will tap into this, they can see your authenticity as well too, and understand that, hey, you're real, like, you're in it, but you haven't lost yourself at all.
I'm not. And that's the first thing I tell people, like, I'm from Hollywood. I went to Hollywood High School. So let's just be real. Born and raised in the Valley, went to Hollywood High. I didn't come here to get discovered or get famous.
Right.
Growing up in Hollywood is literally my life. So I can't be Hollywood in a place that I grew up in. Everybody else is coming to make it Hollywood, which is why they say, oh, LA is too much for me. How's it too much for you? The real people are not Hollywood. This is just how I live. It just so happens that I do things in an entertainment space. Me, on an average weekend or weekday, I'm going to red carpet events or screenings or premieres. That's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Or if not, I'm at the sports bar watching a sporting event with certain friends of mine that are celebrities. So I can't become Hollywood in a place that I was born and raised in. And I never want Hollywood to make me. I want to be in a space where it's like people can always feel like, no, I know Porscha because she doesn't bring an element of fakeness to this industry that I think gets a bad rep, which is why a lot of people don't want their kids to do it, because they're like, oh, I don't want them to turn into drug addicts or these people. And I'm like, I've been around a lot, trust and believe, and I don't smoke or drink, never have. So it's like, I don't have to fall into the vices that I think a lot of people do fall into, because, you know, they might feel like they have to. You never have to do something just to fit in. And that's never been me. I'm gonna be who I am either way, you know, all the time.
I can so appreciate that, like, really and truly. And I know we're pressed for time, so, you know, the last couple ones here too. So listen, Porscha, you came in, and so I'm a fan of the WB. I watch a couple shows here and there. So I watched All American, you know, started watching All American Homecoming.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I see my dog on TV with Coach Can't Get Right, Mr. Marcus, you know.
Love it. Coach Can't Get Right. That's it. Yeah.
So I know the series is about to premiere later on here this summer. What can you tell us about your role with my guy, Coach Can't Get Right?
Come on, Coach Can't Get Right, aka Corey Hardrick. Do better. Okay.
Do better.
All we know is that you are dating Miss Amata, and next thing you know, you got your wife walking in. Like, what? So messy,
bro.
So messy. But I just actually wrapped up filming All American, and it is really, really good. I am coming back. You will see Crystal in the building, and you will have a little idea of where she's been, but also, you know, what happened. How did this girl end up marrying him? And she's nowhere to be found. But then all of a sudden, out of the blue, she just walks back into his life. And it wreaks hell, obviously, on him and Amada's relationship, because that's a ball drop. You're back together. You went to college. You're just so in love. And next thing you know, your wife. What? So you are going to find out in July a lot of good stuff regarding Coach Marcus's backstory. And I like how they're delving really into a lot of mental health issues, you know, in All American Homecoming, because it's real. You know, kids are in school. There's a lot of vices. There are a lot of things that they're dealing with. And I love how they tap into that. So you're going to see a lot of mental health awareness, and you're going to see a really good storyline between Crystal and the other characters that are on the show. A lot of good storylines, but I just wrapped that one up. And then I'll be the first to tell you where I'm leaving next week, which is going to be good. I'm actually on Force on Starz.
Oh, what?
So yes, that's the call that was just coming in. I just got it last week.
Tell Tommy to hold on.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna tell Tommy to hold on. So it's exciting. Like I said, it's been a great week in general. Like I said, you sometimes it's dead where you hear nothing. There's no cell tapes, there's no auditions. You're like, oh my gosh, like crickets. And then all of a sudden you get 4 in a day, and you're like, okay, now I'm drained, I'm tired. You know, but I love what I do. And even when that came in, like I had auditioned for the show 2 other times and I got really close and, you know, nothing happened, but I was like, they're going to remember me. That's fine. I'll get back in. Word. And sure enough, I had a self-tape audition that came in on Saturday. I sent it in Sunday night because I knew I was going to be working on All American all last week. Got a call Tuesday, hey, you're on hold. And next thing you know, okay, you're booked. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's exciting. And I'm excited for you to be a part of shows that you actually watch. Like I watch Force, I watch Power Book, I watch the whole franchise. I'm friends with some of the characters on these shows. So it's really, really good to pop into certain shows that you watch on a regular basis and have people see different variations of who you are. So it's going to be good. It's going to be juicy. And you're the first to know that I just told because I hadn't shared that before. But yeah.
Well, listen, I am privileged and honored. I'm shooting my shot here. Later on, when Force comes out, we got to do like some quick wrap up with Porscha Coleman.
Yes, we'll do a post interview.
Let's do that.
We'll do this. I'll promise you that we can do a post interview once you see Force, and we'll do a post interview once you see All American Homecoming. And depending on when that is, it should be like fall-ish because all the shows are starting in July for Homecoming. I don't know when Force is coming back because we're still midway through the season, but guarantee you we'll hop back on and we can talk all about it. Even my Christmas film we could talk about too. That's called Too Many Christmases, and that'll be out November, December too. So we'll have a lot of stuff to chat about and catch up on when it airs.
The work keeps coming in. Last one, Porscha. Listen, you know, you've been behind the camera, if you will, too, obviously in front of the camera. Do you want to write and produce and do some more of those things on the executive level, or have you already? Let me not make assumptions that you haven't already. Do you want to continue doing some of those things?
1,000%. I actually did executive produce a TV show that I'm starring on that we're actually shopping right now to get picked up. 10 episodes. It's a comedy. I'm starring in it and EPing it. Super excited. It's really funny. It's hilarious. Play a nice attorney who's going through, you know, the ups and downs of dating and like what it's really like. You know, you're a professional woman, but how do you date, you know, in that kind of capacity and, you know, finding love. And it's like, okay, she finds love, but it's with somebody who's a complete opposite in a way of her. So it's really a great show. Can't wait to talk next time, hopefully, and we got it picked up somewhere. But I love to, you know, be in control in a certain way because I get to bring my artistry behind the camera, you know, to the forefront. Even directing, like I've directed like shorts here or there. I direct Friends, you know, in different projects. So I definitely think I can lead in that way because as an actor, you know what you want to see and what kind of performance you would need for somebody as an actress, but then as a director, you want to bring a vision to life. So I'm a very visual person. So I definitely want to have more executive producing and creating brought to the forefront because I think I have a lot to offer in that capacity.
Sounds like an amazing place to wrap so that we can have more meat on the bone for the next time we talk again. She is the multi-talented and amazing, the radiant, amazing Porscha Coleman. Make sure you follow her on social at Porscha Coleman. Make sure you catch the upcoming season, All American Homecoming. Force, when that comes out as well, too. I guess that'll be season 3.
Yes, season 3. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And all her great, amazing projects. Again, I'm your host, Warren Shaw. Hit me up at Shaw Sports NBA or at dope_interviews. And you know what it is. As always, thank you so much. It's been another dope interview. And we're out.
Together we stand, divided we never. The vision is one, striving for the better. Working as a team, working toward a dream. It's not even work when the team is the dream. On a united front, we got our own back. A band of brothers to counteract any attack. One heart in fact, forget what the blood say. Dope is what flows in this fam's DNA. So let's do it for the love, give to the max. Listen to opinion, but react to facts. And remember that together with a shh, but separate, just pieces of it. Dope is what flows in this fam's DNA. Dope is what flows in this fam's DNA.
Family family represent like a tree with names on it. We're free, no chains on it, relieved. The pain's gone, I can see. We come together like questions on the quiz. Mojo Flow and Viz, man, you know what it is. And if ignorance is bliss, you're gonna hate this lesson. Organized intellect like a tropical depression. My symbol is the cross, a mic and ghost peppers. Cause I'm just a black sheep growing up to be a shepherd. Moonlighting as a weapon to protect the children. Every brother is a father, dynasties we're building. Max, J and K, Bay, and Isaiah, next level of the family foundation, understand me?